So this one time, I walked into a tiny coffee shop in the middle of nowhere. It's just off the highway, no signage except for a crooked wooden board and a faint smell of cinnamon. Inside there was one table, two stools, and a cat sitting on the counter. I think about that place a lot. And recently, I found myself thinking about it again while reading Legends Lattes. It's a fantasy novel where the hero isn't saving the world. She's just opening a cafe. No dragons, no end of the world, just a steaming mug of coffee, a pastry, and a quiet place to sit. I loved it. And as I read, I kept wondering, what does this cafe actually look like? I've been an architect for well over a decade, and sometimes I get so caught up in the codes and cost per square foot that I forget why I started drawing buildings in the first place. But reading this book reminded me, spaces matter. Not because of what they are, but because of how they make us feel. And for me, Viv's Cafe felt like home. So today, I want to visualize it. Not a literal interpretation, but just what I saw in my mind as I turned the pages. Let's start with some loose sketching. Not canon, not correct, just vibes. The cafe is set in the city of Thune, a little rough around the edges. Viv finds a rundown livery stable and transforms it. So I'm imagining a building with a timber frame, maybe a tall central hall that used to be open to the rafters. The sign hangs on a wrought iron bracket, a steaming mug. Maybe Thimble carved it with tiny perfect paws. Inside I'm picturing a bar with big wood beams, a cozy hearth, and mismatched tables. And of course Amity, the black cat with green eyes, sleeping in the sun. These sketches aren't about precision, they're about feeling. Once I get a feel for the space, I like to jump into 3D. Not to make it perfect, but to see how the light might fall, how the ceiling heights affect the atmosphere. I think of it as carving the void, not placing the objects. A little like Zen gardens, the absence is part of the design. I'm using a timber frame to guide the structure. Big posts, maybe even salvaged from the original livery. Stone base, plaster walls. The main room will be anchored by a massive fireplace, essential for both warmth and the cozy fantasy vibe. The counter with menu board is the first thing you see when you walk in. Maybe that's a commercial architect in me picturing it too literally, but that just made sense to me. Added a few support spaces in the back, a kitchen where Thimble bakes and takes deliveries from the alley. Out front, a small intimate stage where Pindry can tune his viola and work on his presence. There's something satisfying about watching a blank digital space turn into a little world. I try not to overwork it. After all, we're not building a corporate coffee shop. This place has soul. But I do like to imagine an inspector walking in here. Is that a ratkin baking pastries without a health permit? Where's your triple sink and floor drains? Are the surfaces smooth and wipeable? Why is there a sword on the wall? Now that I got the space basically figured out, let's bring it to life with materials, lighting, and a little atmosphere. This is where the space starts to feel real. The wood is warm, slightly worn, not too polished. The plaster will have a hand-finished look. I added furniture and lighting that looks like it fits the place, and maybe was picked up by Tandri as they scoured the local shops. Morning sun filters in through leaded glass windows. Dust hangs on the beams. I used to think rendering was about realism. Now I think about it as memory. You're not seeing what it was, you're seeing how it felt. Let's visit the shop. You step off a cobbled street and under the wooden sign with a steaming mug. The bell at the door rings softly. The scent of fresh bread and coffee wraps around you. There's a mix of voices, the pluck of a viola, the crackle of the fire. There's a seat open by the window. You didn't know you needed this place until you found it. And for a moment, the world slows down. I personally believe that suffering comes from craving, from the belief that peace lies somewhere else, sometime later. But places like Viv's Café, real or imagined, remind us that peace is already here, in the warmth of a cup, in the sound of a friend's voice, in a cat curled up in the sun. You don't need to save the world. You just need to be here. Maybe that's the real magic. So I don't know if this is what Travis imagined when he wrote Legends and Lattes. Probably not, but this is what I saw. And I'm glad I took the time to bring it into the world. I hope this exploration has been enjoyable for you as well. If you like this video, you might enjoy some of the others on this channel. Spaces inspired by stories, feelings, and memories. You can also support me on Patreon, where I share behind-the-scenes sketches, renderings, and the occasional cat photo. Links below. And as always, slow down and design with intent.